Marto Matt here, and now let's bring this project to an end. Let's add his hands, let's add his feet, and we should be just about there. Okay, so first thing I want to do, I'm going to hide away this t-shirt to make it much easier to draw his hands. Okay, you should already figure out how we're going to be able to draw these hands. Very simple. We're going to use the ellipse tool, of course. So let's select our ellipse. Let's actually deselect those pants, remember. Cool. Okay, we get our ellipse tool. Remember the color that we want, we'll use the color picker just to get that skin again. Okay, and make sure we've got no stroke. Perfect. Okay, now we just drag that ellipse. Get a little bit bigger. Yep, too easy. Okay, just do that one. And once I'm happy, I'm going to right click. Let's just rasterize that so that we can copy it. Okay, duplicate the layer. Okay, and just use our move tool, drag it over. That one. Now we'll create the little thumbs. It's funny how they do these in South Park with this little round circle. So one thing we've got to do slightly different there is, so we're going to hold down Control and deselect that layer to create those little thumbs. You can see this one does actually have a stroke around it, so it does have that black line. So there's one thing we're going to do differently. We'll get our ellipse tool first. Let's hide away those hands to make it easier. Okay. We get our ellipse tool. This time, here's our stroke. The stroke is already black. Make sure. And this time we want to give it a bit of a stroke. I'm going to go for, actually, let's just see what 5 pixels looks like. You can just draw one just to see. Yeah, that looks like it's going to be pretty good. So, okay, Control. Let's just come over here. We'll draw our thumb. Drag it slightly to get that shape just right. Cool, let's bring back the hand and see what it looks like. That's exactly right, eh? Perfect. So let's rasterize that layer. Same again, let's duplicate it. And use our move tool just to take the other one over to there. Okay, let's turn them all on. So we can see now, you'll see there's the only problem there, that I've got that hand is in front. So let's just bring that hand down. Very straightforward to create these hands, and they look good. Let's just hide away the template to make sure we're happy. Turn the t-shirt on. Really coming on nicely now. Now let's have a look. Anything else that we need? We'll turn that t-shirt off again. You see that? There's these little lines down here just to divide his arms. Again, we're just going to use the brush tool for this one. Get our brush tool. Okay, we don't need a very big brush. You remember we did 5 pixels for the hand, so let's just do 5 pixels. Yep, nice hard brush, and we're basically just going to draw those in. Keep that smoothness up at 50% there. Let's do that one. Okay, let's make sure we've got black. Oh yeah, just go there. Okay, make sure that we've got black. And then we can use our paintbrush tool. Make sure we haven't got a layer selected, so it'll make a nice new one. Actually, yeah, it will. I am just going to put it on top of that other layer. It's easy that way. Okay, and I'm just carefully going to hold down my mouse button and draw those 2 lines. Nice and careful. Oh, a little bit further. Okay, perfect. So all I'm going to do just to finish off those hands is I'm just going to merge all of those hands into one layer. So I click on the first one, that one, that one, right click, merge those layers. Hopefully I won't regret it, because it's now joined the two hands together, but I think it just makes it easier to manage. That looks excellent. Okay, last thing then is our feet. Feet, we're going to use a slightly different tool again, so let's turn off his pants. Okay, so we need to create two half ellipses. So we're going to use our ellipse tool. Let's quickly make sure we don't have anything selected. Okay, let's get our ellipse tool. Okay, we can see we want the fill as black. Let's turn that stroke off again. We don't want the stroke. And all we're going to do is just going to draw one black ellipses. Okay, let's just, I'm trying to create that nice rounded look. Make it a little bit bigger. Okay, now we're not worried about the bit that goes on the bottom. Okay, we can fix that in a minute. Okay, yep, that'll do it. Let's rasterize that. Let's copy that one. Okay, so that's these ones. Make sure we've got it right. Okay, get our move tool, move it over. Okay, so there's our 2 feet kind of in place. Yep, that looks excellent. That one's sticking out a little bit more. Okay, so what we will do now is let's just combine those 2 feet, which was been a bit bad and haven't been doing my name labels, have I? So let's just get both of those. I can check I've got them both. Yep, that's it. Okay, let's merge those two together. So I've got those. Now all I want to do is I'm just going to chop off the bottom of those feet. Make sure I've got those feet layers selected. Don't remember if we've used this tool before. Up here is the tool that we call the rectangular marquee tool, and it's basically just a select tool. And so I select the rectangular marquee tool. I carefully get right to the edge of the feet. I'm just going to drag this box. Okay, so that has now selected the bottom half of this image. Because this is a raster image, we've already rasterized it, I can just press backspace and it just removes the bottom half of the feet. Easy as. Right. What I am going to do is I'm now going to make sure we've got the right names for here. So this one was the feet. Yep, there we go. Let's just check what this one was. This one was the hands. Okay, there's our logo. Beautiful. So let's switch the t-shirt back on. Let's switch the pants back on. Let's hide away the template we had. And there we go. We have managed to successfully create our Butters from South Park, complete with a Nike logo and slightly crazy eyebrows and pink lips, but a pretty good version, I must say. Oh, I just noticed one thing. Let me just zoom in. Look, the feet, as you can see, are just sticking a little bit too high. So we get our feet layer. Let's Control T. Oops. Oh, actually, sorry, I can see we've already got this selected. So we have to deselect that before we can do anything else. So Control and D takes that away. Now we can Control and T just to be able to move. And this time, if I use the down arrow on the keyboard, that lets me move it just a tiny bit. Just how I like it. Excellent. Enter to fix. Cool. Okay. Because Butters is now finished, we'll save it one more time, and this time we'll change the name. So we do File, Save As. Instead of Butters V2, I'm gonna use capital so I know Butters Final. That means that there's no more changes that I want to make. Butters is done.